All right, good afternoon and welcome. We have Sarah McMurrough, who is currently running for Arlington School Board Place 1. Sarah, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. Thank you guys for hosting this.
Absolutely. And we have Javier Nahara. He's going to be directing our questions today.
Thank you. And hello, Sarah. Are you ready for your first question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question number one, with 3 minutes. Tell us a bit about yourself, your background, your experience, your connection and or interests with Arlington schools, and reasons for seeking a board position.
All right. So I'm an Arlington native. I wasn't born here, but since I was 11 years old, my family and I moved to Arlington, and I attended AISD schools, Foster, Gunn, and Bowie. And I graduated from Bowie High School in 2003. I went to college in San Marcos, and then I came back as quickly as I could because I knew that I wanted to teach here in the very district where teachers inspired me to become an educator myself. And so, I spent 12 years as an elementary educator teaching at both Lynn Hale Elementary in East Arlington, and then Little Elementary in West Arlington. And as I, taught at both of those schools, I wore many hats. I served as team leader. I was a family engagement liaison. I sponsored several clubs and organizations. And I, through my leadership roles, I kept hearing the calling louder and louder to serve teachers, because teachers are my favorite people, tied with students. And so this past July, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to take on a leadership role as a district-wide literacy coach in Mansfield. So now in that role, I'm in classrooms every day throughout our community, directly serving and supporting our 3rd and 4th grade language arts teachers. I help with writing the curriculum, and that includes making what wasn't virtual before digital now, so that our virtual learners can receive the same quality of education as our face-to-face learners. And my son, I have 2 boys. One is a baby, and the other one is a 7-year-old 1st grader who attends Little Elementary, where I used to teach. And he is high functioning on the autism spectrum. So I've been through the ARD process, and a culmination of all of these background experiences is kind of, why I'm so driven to lead right now. I feel that it's critical that our school board has a current educator to bring much needed insight into the discussions and decisions moving forward. And, especially as an AISD mom too, I am personally committed and invested in the success of our school district.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The next question will be 2 minutes. According to the Texas Education Agency, Arlington ISD is comprised of more than 70% economically disadvantaged students. What experience do you have in working with Title I campuses or economically disadvantaged students and their families?
Definitely. So my first 7 years of teaching, I spent 7 years teaching at one of our Title I schools, Lynn Hale Elementary. And those were 7 phenomenal years that I just molded and shaped me as an educator, not just a better educator, but a better person. And I grew up as a Title I kid myself. So I loved teaching at Lynn Hale, and I feel that, like you said, that does reflect most of our demographics. Most of our kids in our community do attend Title I schools. And I just feel really strongly that, speaking to you guys as an Arlington Council of PTAs, I would love to see all of our campus have a strong, healthy PTA. And I would love to partner with those PTAs so we can ensure that partnership. And, when I taught at Lynn Hale, I was honored with Teacher of the Year at that campus, as well as the Aware Award, which is our district, kind of our district version of Teacher of the District. And I think that we have the most phenomenal teachers in AISD, and I'm proud to call those colleagues my friends as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Question number 3, also 2 minutes.
All right.
What is your perspective on the district's COVID-19 return to school plan?
Okay. Okay. So, again, I'm looking at this through the lens of both an educator and a parent of an AISD student. I feel that we could have done a much better job with our opening plan. I would have liked to see our students come back in person as soon as possible for the families who opted to do so. And, I was very disappointed. Even though it wasn't a unanimous vote, I didn't like to see our school board vote to delay opening this past fall, especially after our students had been at home since March. And, for the teachers who did not feel safe coming to school to teach face-to-face learners, I feel that we could have had a different learning model from the get-go, where our teachers were able to teach face-to-face in-person students only, or virtual learners only. And we know that it can be done because our neighboring school district, Mansfield ISD, where I work every day, our teachers are doing that model, and we're seeing student performance results. And we have comfortable teachers who are able to put all of their energy and focus on that population. And they also have more flexibility to stay synchronous with their virtual learners for much longer periods of time. So that's my main take on how we handled the COVID-19 reopening.
Okay. And question number 4, also 2 minutes. What suggestions do you have for recruiting and retaining teachers and other professionals in the district, especially incentives to attract highly effective teachers, or maybe teachers in fields like math and science?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, can you repeat the beginning of that question? I'm so sorry. I know you started the timer.
No problem, no problem. What suggestions do you have for recruiting and retaining those teachers and other professionals with those specialties?
Got it. So this is a top priority of mine. And it all goes to listening, and not just listening to our teachers and staff, but putting action behind that listening. Every year, our teachers and staff do a comprehensive, very lengthy evaluation, which I think is an awesome move by the district. And looking at that data, an area of room for growth that we have as a district, and this isn't isolated to 1 or 2 campuses, this is district-wide data. One of our areas for growth is seeking teacher input and communicating with them on decisions that directly affect their job. And so the data tells us that we need to do a better job of that. And one way I think in addition to listening and having teachers and staff be part of the decision making through that listening, we need to make sure we're supporting our teachers with high quality curriculum resources. And right now, I feel very strongly, and I'm hearing a lot of teachers voice this as well, that's where we are lacking, especially with virtual curriculum resources. We need to make sure that as a district, especially being the 13th largest district in the state, we are immediately supporting our teachers in the area of providing quality curriculum and instruction resources so that they have the autonomy to deliver that instruction and, stick to the art of teaching best they know how.
Okay, thank you. Question number 5, also 2 minutes. To be effective, a board member must gain support from other board members for his or her issues. Explain how you plan to get other board members to support your goals.
So this will be one of my strengths. I am very much a team player. And, it's not a matter of if disagreements will happen, it's a matter of when. And we see that at every board meeting. And I watch every board meeting in its entirety. And this is what I can bring to the table. I will keep children at the forefront of every decision and discussion that we engage in. And, that's not something that I'm going to do, because it's what I want to do. It's something I'll do because that's who I am. I am an educator and I am a mother of an AISD student. We are all on the same team. And our district has a strategic plan. And one of the main goals of that strategic plan is all of us are responsible for 100% of our students to graduate with college and career readiness. And if we are truly going to carry out that awesome but daunting charge, we have to work together. And, I am very much willing to have those uncomfortable but productive conversations. And, I give out my cell phone number on my mailers, on my website. And that's not just something I'm doing to earn a vote. That's something I'm going to do to earn continued support, not only for, people who work for the district and for my fellow trustees, but also to all the families we serve. I've also reached out to each and every one of our trustees myself, including Superintendent Dr. Cavazos, just to get on the, just to introduce myself and start building that positive relationship, because that is very important to me. And if we don't work together, there's no way we're going to make this happen.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, also 2 minutes. How does PTA, both council and locals, fit into your plan for your term on the school board?
Okay, excuse me. So I think we have to stay connected. We just have to stay connected. And, as far as we were talking about how 70% of our campuses, are Title I. We may or may not have a strong PTA at each and every one of our campuses. And, to tell you the truth, a lot of campuses who are struggling building a PTA, sometimes they find themselves where the teachers make up the whole entire PTA. So you're missing the P.
Mm-hmm.
So I would really love to partner with you all. And I was looking on your website and seeing all the campuses that have a growth in enrollment in their PTA and also have an upstart PTA in the works. I think it's great that you guys publish that with as many campuses as we have. And I would love, as a board trustee, to partner with you all so that we can help launch those upstart PTAs at additional campuses, especially with all of the rebuilding and, everything that the bond package plans have laid out. It's really important that we're being intentional about keeping the strong PTAs we have and launching PTAs for the campuses that aren't fortunate enough to have one today. And I think it can be done during the pandemic as well, for sure.
Okay. And question number 7, 2 minutes. What are your financial priorities for the school district? Some of the examples that have been given are, for instance, reduction in class size, improved technology in the classroom, maintaining current programs, increasing employee compensation.
Okay. And what was the beginning of that question? I'm sorry.
What are your financial priorities for the school district, given those examples?
Okay. Well, I want to start by saying I think our school board is doing a pretty good job of balancing the budget. And it's really important that we are keeping an eagle eye on the projects that are stemming from our 2019 bond. The majority of that bond funding is going toward new facilities. So that is definitely a top priority. We need to make sure that we are very visible at those construction sites, that we are meeting the timelines so that, the families that we serve and the teachers and staff who work there can have a wonderful environment, a wonderful school environment. And I would also like to provide an additional incentive to our paraprofessionals, our teaching assistants. They are very much underpaid. And I would like to, especially with how their roles have been repurposed with this past year during COVID times, I really would like to offer them a raise. I really do. I think it's important too that we are, making our pay competitive to retain our teachers. We don't want to underpay any of our teachers and staff. So that's definitely a financial priority as well.
Question number 8, 2 minutes. What do you believe your relationship should be to local city and county officials? How should the board achieve this?
Okay, so again, this goes back to staying connected. And when I say staying connected, I don't mean, everyone knows everybody's name and we email each other sometimes when we're up for re-election pretty soon. I mean, appearing at each other's meetings. I mean, being part of the decision-making together. And I think that, with Arlington being as big of a city as we are, this is a critical move for us to make. And again, this is why I'm putting my cell phone number up there, because we have to involve all stakeholders and we have to work together. School board, in any district, school board trustees and the superintendent should not work and operate as a silo. We need to include city council. We need to partner with UT Arlington, which I know is already a strong partnership that I want to keep. And we need to partner with our PTAs just so we are constantly staying abreast of the needs of our community and working together to achieve more so our city can continue to see growth.
Thank you. Question number 9, 2 minutes. How much parental input should be allowed in decisions pertaining to students' curriculum, school environment, transportation, safety, and accountability?
Okay, can you repeat that one more time? Sorry, it cut out at the beginning.
No problem.
Okay.
How much parental input should be allowed in decisions pertaining to students' curriculum, school environment, transportation, safety, and accountability?
Okay, so, I can answer this question as both an educator and a mother myself. And, all of those pieces that you mentioned, I have a different answer for each of them. First and foremost, school choice is a national movement right now. And, I personally feel that our public schools offer our students the very best education, but parents do have the right to choose, and is in regards to public school, I feel that the teacher, the bachelor's degree holding, highly qualified teacher is the professional who should be the decision maker when it comes to all things curriculum. I think it's very important to involve the parents in the children's learning. And, we have state standards, the TEKS, that we are mandated to teach that are grade level appropriate and assessed on the STAR test and other exams. But I do think it's very important to communicate to the parents constantly how their child is performing and ways that they can help at home. That's critical. Now, in regards to transportation, I think the parents have a lot of say already, but I do feel that all of our children in all parts of Arlington deserve the very, very best quality of education for sure.
Okay. And then for the 10th and final question for 3 minutes, what will make you a better candidate for school board than your competitors?
Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the year, I am a current educator. I am in classrooms each and every day, seeing firsthand what our teachers and students see. I go to conferences to stay and, present professional development, and I stay abreast of best practices, and I'm learning at the speed of light. I'm going through what our teachers and staff here are going through each day as an educator. And I think that that is a very critical and missing piece of our current puzzle. As much as I admire and respect our current school board trustees, the insight of a current educator is a must-have. And that's something that a K through 12 educator, let me clarify there, K through 12 educator. But that's a critical missing piece of the puzzle that I think we've seen this past year, how important it is to have someone bring insight straight from the trenches of the classrooms into the decision making so we can be more proactive in leading our district instead of reactive. And I'm willing to partner with each of our trustees. I follow the school board meetings very closely. I grew up here. I have 2 children of my own, one who's currently enrolled in AISD schools. So I am personally invested in the success of Arlington ISD. I really am. I'm energetic, I am highly qualified, and I am ready to lead and keep our children at the forefront of each and every discussion and decision that we make as a school board.
Okay.
Sarah, thank you so much. This concludes our time with you today.
All right, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it, and I appreciate you guys hosting this.